he danced around for a bit, and he just made them waste all that mana before engaging them. That's what you got to do. You got to run in, burn the DK and the Lich, and you got to micro your Demon Hunter back all the time. All the time while you'll be doing like moving your army towards his and moving back and trying to set yourself up in a good position and all that. And if it goes into an 80 versus 80 food fight, which it's hard to say. You don't often see 80 versus 80 food fights on Terranistan. Like, there's a lot of opportunities to end early because of the way the map's set up. If you let him get to level 5, get to level 6, then you're in a bit of strife, because there's 3 bridges on that, 4 bridges on that map, and there's kind of limited mobility. So if he's gone Gargs and just Gargs or something, or he's picked up some aboms, or he's got high heroes, then you're going to be at a severe disadvantage, because the Gargs can fly over the rivers, obviously, and that gives him some insane mobility. So if it does end up looking like it's going to go into the late game, I recommend you put up an expansion as soon as possible, because you need to get that extra income flowing before your mines like completely run out. You can't fight an undead player. Like, okay, think of all the undead replays you've seen in the past couple of days, or the past couple of weeks, or as far back as you can remember. The common thing you're going to find is that every single professional elf player is trying his hardest to end the game before it goes late. Think back to all the times you've seen an 80 versus 80 food fight in a fairly even game. Like, I'm not talking like Fury versus Spirit Moon or anything. I mean like Fall versus Spirit Moon or something. 2 evenly matched players. You'll notice that if the game goes late, usually it turns out in the undead's favor, because the undead doesn't really need an expansion, but the Night Elf kinda does. And the way the Night Elf player can get his expansion up is with Dryads, because at that stage in the game, all the undead players are going to have his ghouls and some Gargs that he'll probably be using to harass, and he'll be harassing with his DK and stuff. So what Dryads provide is a window, like an opportunity to get an expansion up. And if you can get that expansion up, then you've thrown the game pretty well into your favor. If you think it's going to go late and it's a bigger map, let's say like Twisted Meadows, or I don't want to say Turtle Rock, because Turtle Rock is different. You won't see Demon Hunter on Turtle Rock, because Beastmaster and Dark Ranger are just insane on that map. They're such amazing heroes to go on that map. Demon Hunter you won't see it too often. But on, say, Twisted Meadows, where you'll see Demon Hunter sometimes, because you can't really creep without a lot of archers with the DR on Twisted Meadows, and a Beastmaster is great and all, but Isle expansion, well, a Beastmaster kind of does counter Isle expansions, but it's just difficult with a Beast. It's pretty difficult with a Beastmaster on Twisted Meadows. It's not one of his best maps, so it's not too rare to see a DH, because it's a little more difficult to ghoul rush on Twisted Meadows. So going late game, going to an 80 versus 80 food fight on Twisted Meadows is something that might happen fairly often to you. It happens very often to me, because Gargs and Isle creeping and early expansions by the undead and slow techs and zig rushes and all this crap seems to happen to me on ladder these days, and it's kind of frustrating. Whatever happened to the people who cookie cut? So the one thing you can try and do is to counter mass A-bombs, mass wagons, is with Demon Hunter and Panda. You can try and go Chims and Hippos, or you can try and do the 4-unit mix with those heroes, but that only really works on Lost Temple, because it's hard to say. It works on smaller maps, but Twisted Meadows is fairly good for going Chimeras and Hippogriffs, and Beastmaster is great for massing Dryads with on that map too. another question I get asked a lot. What do you do when the DK keeps coming in and, like, I was paraphrasing here, but what do you do when a DK comes in and keeps harassing you and doesn't let you creep? With the Beastmaster, if that's happening to you, what you want to do is you want to run in, beat on the creeps, and as soon as you see the DK, stop focusing the creeps. If they're hitting your units, it doesn't matter, just micro them back and focus the DK every time he does that. But don't get sidetracked. Remember, the key is the creep. If you see the DK coming in and he's not going to be able to coil the creep in time, then finish the creep. Or if the creep's under 100 health, then finish the creep and hope you get it, because the coil might not get there in time or something, or he might not notice, or he might be waiting for it to go a bit lower. But, and just a little warning, because most players sometimes they get so focused on killing the DK that they just forget that they're trying to creep, and they forget that they're trying to get level 3 and stuff, and that's another problem. Alright, so this audio is pretty much over. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for listening, and I'll definitely be doing more audios in the very near future. For those who are curious, actually, one more thing, can you guys send me questions in the form of a PM, like, just do little dot points, because you guys used to do that, and I had a whole bunch of them that I was going to answer, and then there was that big hiatus where I didn't do any audios for like 2 months, and I kind of lost all those questions because I ended up deleting my PM box. So if you guys could just like send me a bunch of questions to do with Night Elf, anything to do with Night Elf, or anything to do with Warcraft 3, or anything at all, I'll try and answer them in my next audio.